All right. Welcome back to the newest episode of the TBD podcast. Your usual crew here, joined with a very special guest, Warren Fitzpatrick, the man, the myth, the legend. You may know him specifically from driving a bulldozer, or not driving a bulldozer, directing a bulldozer in the High Cap Step Sing show of the Lumberjacks. You may know him as Keenan's former big in the greatest fraternity of all time, Pi Kappa Phi. You may know him for a lot of different things, but this is a man who needs no introductions. But with that being said, allow him to sort of introduce himself. This is also Warren Fitzpatrick, Director of Basketball Operations at Samford University. Warren, you want to tell us a little bit about what you do and your role, and then I'll do some storytelling after this. But tell us what's been going on with Samford basketball and you this time of year.
I mean, not much need to say after that. I mean, what an intro. I appreciate it. Pumped to be on here. Uh, excited. Can't wait to discuss all things. What was y'all's catchphrase? All things ology, derpology. I read the thing the other day.
Yeah, we got to actually back up the T, which is supposed to be theology. We do love God. We do love the Bible. We haven't necessarily had intense theological debates on here, but bracketology is B and derpology is D, so just whatever random.
Well, I'm excited to be here to discuss all of it.
Love it.
Yeah, man, I am the current director of basketball operations at our alma mater, Samford University for men's basketball. Going on this is my third season. It feels honestly, people say it and it's true. In this role, the seasons take some age on you. It feels like the 10th year. But it's been a lot of fun. Seventh year at Samford, four undergrad, now three working while also getting my grad, I guess. But yeah, excited to be here to discuss anything basketball, man. Pumped to be on here. Appreciate you guys.
Big time. It's like the clip of Barack Obama before the presidency and after the presidency. He looks like he's not only
Yes.
aged eight years, but about 25. So I guess that's what's going to be happening with you. Well, here's some storytelling that I want to share a little bit about. Specifically, Warren is you were class of 2021, right?
Yep.
Undergrad. Me, Hank Keenan, class of 2022 undergrad. We come in in the fall of 2018. And I want to share the only game that I remember going to in my first 2 years at Samford. And I don't know if y'all were there. Y'all probably were. In fact, maybe all three of y'all were there. This was November 29th, 2018. Take me back down a walk down memory lane. The Samford Bulldogs are hyped up to play Belmont Bruins at home. It is a game in which most people are mainly going to know the game for the Samford squad or the Toon squad tank tops. That's the main,
Mhm.
I'll be honest, that's the reason I went to the game. I don't think I even got one. That was the reason why I went to the game. Um, was to get that tank top. It actually was a good game. We did lose 99 to 93 in overtime. Sounds like a Kentucky versus anybody game this year. And we do lose, and it's like, oh, that was kind of fun. I mean, the atmosphere wasn't there, but it was kind of fun. Uh, Following year, travel to Belmont. You gotta do your home and your away. Final score 95 to 63.
Mm.
I don't know that I stepped into the Pete Hanna Center my sophomore year unless I was maybe playing in an intramural basketball game. I don't think I made the championship my sophomore year. And if I did, it was in co-ed. Point being, unless I was lifting weights, which y'all know I was not, I did not take a step into the Pete Hanna Center. Now, here are some facts, and then we're gonna let Warren do some talking. Basketball Reference, 52 seasons of Samford basketball. I don't know if there were more, but 52 seasons on Basketball Reference. Only 19 of Samford's 52 seasons on Basketball Reference resulted in a record above 500. Um, here's another stat. Never before the 2022 season had Samford ever gone above 500 in conference play. Now, at 500, yes, above 500 specifically. In three of his four seasons at the university, Bucky McMillan has helped his team to a record above 500 in SoCon play. Bucky's Bulldogs have also earned Samford 3 seasons with more than 20 wins, over 20. Before Bucky, Samford had only three of like I said, 52 seasons above 20 wins. Last but not least, this season specifically, Bucky and the Bulldogs, including our man right here, Warren Fitzpatrick, leading Samford to 26 wins and counting, most in school history by 2. And it only has the opportunity to get larger. And so Samford's past 2 seasons have also garnered both the second and third largest crowds in the history of the school's program. Everybody knows the largest crowd was just for Steph Curry. These crowds have been all about seeing what we know as Buckyball. How does something like this happen? Where you look and you scroll through Basketball Reference and you see Samford in these low conferences, worse than the SoCon, not having success, and all of a sudden people are showing up, and we have multiple 20+ win seasons, 3 of the 6 over 20 in the past 4 years, and specifically the past 3 years.
It's kind of sad we didn't get to experience any of it during college. I mean, man, we would have lived it up. I guess you guys got
one.
You guys got one per year. Mm-hmm. I got the COVID year. Keenan and I with some more neon in the crowd asking. But man, I would have loved to have been a Samford student during this time. I mean, I can't say I'm much different than Graham. I mean, I just retired it. I had an Apple Watch that I was wearing since freshman year of college. I got it from a Samford game. It was the only game I went to. And then actually I went to that game for a second with you guys for the Belmont game with the Toon Squad. I remember coming back for overtime. I left the library. It was during finals. I left the library, came back to see the very end of regulation overtime. But outside of that, I mean, I unfortunately I didn't support much. I mean, I can't say us guys weren't busy, but I wish I could have supported more, but probably would have if this was happening. I mean, this is a crazy era we're in of Samford basketball. And I think, listing off all those stats, it's so fun. I mean, I look at them all the time. I read through all the different things. Just yesterday, I just realized we have led the SoCon for 3 straight seasons now in total wins, conference wins, and regular season wins. So we lead the entire SoCon in that. 68 total wins, 67 regular season wins, and then 40 conference wins. So quite a remarkable stat to look at. I mean, I feel bad. I wasn't a part of that first year, 2020, 2021, but that you can't count that, honestly. Like, that's such a COVID year. It was, guys were sick left and right. I know I was around the program some, and most of the practices, they didn't have the full roster. They had some practices. My good friend Drew Smith, I was a GA with my first year. He led a couple of practices when everyone was out. Every coach was sick, and it was just him. It's a crazy year. You canceling games. So I hate that record stands on, Bucky's thing, but we'll forget it. Obviously, we already have. This past 3 years, my 3 years of being a part of this has been unbelievable. And I think what you're talking about, how did this happen? How does this get started? How did it come to fruition? And I don't say this in a knock to any other coach in Samford history. We've had great coaches. I mean, John Brady, who really started all of it to make it what it was, followed by Jimmy Tillett to keep that program going, get those 2 tournament teams. That was created by Coach John Brady, and then passed it off to Coach Tillett when John Brady, I believe, went to LSU, took a team to the Final Four. So great history at that point, and then it's just a stretch, unfortunate back-to-back, 20 years. And it's no knock to anybody else, but how this was happening now, how it came to be, is you got the right guy from this town. I mean, I think people forget. Maybe we talk about it more because we're around it, or maybe I do because was a part of the city he's from. But it's truly unbelievable. You look at Bucky's story. He played basketball at Mountain Brook High School in Birmingham, 10 minutes away from Samford. Goes to Division I, at the time, Birmingham Southern, playing on Coach Dwayne Riebel. Great program. That's only 15 minutes from Samford. Leaves Birmingham Southern when he graduates to coach basketball back at Mountain Brook High School, where he went to school. 12 years later, he's coaching at Samford. He actually lives closer to Samford than he does Mountain High School. His house is closer here. So a guy who has been from this area, not since birth, he was not born in Birmingham technically, but since his young childhood, all through Birmingham, his whole life to now, there's no coincidence. You look in the crowd and it's packed out. I mean, that's just what you get. I mean, even if you didn't know Bucky, you would expect that because you're going to support people from your own area, your own city. But the people he knows that's been around and that he's cared so well for, they've returned it and have cared for him and have supported this. And they've almost jumped on it and taken Samford as their own team. I was listening to an interview the other day by him, and he was talking about what's so special about Samford right now in this crowd, in this environment, this program, is that you have a lot of Samford people, but a lot of it is people that had nothing to do with Samford. Maybe there's a Birmingham person, they live in Homewood and they just saw this program's doing well. I'm gonna go support them. Or maybe they're a Mountain Brook person or someone from Birmingham from Bucky's Pass, and we're gonna support him or the staff. Our whole staff, half of us are from Birmingham. I mean, and so everyone's kind of rallying together and becoming. I mean, we're in the BHM right now. I mean, we're Birmingham's team. We've kind of taken that on, and it's because Bucky's the one at the front. He's leading the way. He's on the streets himself, getting people here. It's not just sitting back and just saying, "Yeah, come watch." No, he wants to actually tell you about it, why you support it. And then really the most important part about all of that, this is no knock to other previous teams, but he's done such a good job and the rest of the staff to get players here who are high character, high, high achiever mentality people that you want to be around, people you want your kids to be around. You want your daughters to date, you want to hire them in your businesses. These are guys that you're proud of. The school's proud of them off the court. They sit in front of the classroom. They're friends with their students. And then, Graham, you told me a story about guys you knew who were always so just nice and friendly to you, on campus, that you just always appreciated them talking to you. You didn't have that before, and so getting those kind of guys here is how you got to do it. There's only so much a coach can do and the staff can do to build it, but you got to have the players that hold the hand with it. And, you look at our camps, we have 1,000 campers each summer. Our players then go and coach those kids in their fall leagues and their rec leagues. They're around and they do birthday parties. So long-winded answer, but that's how you get it. You get a guy who is from this area who wants to build it and make something special for Birmingham. And then you pair that with the staff and him who have gone and got players that you want to be around and that people want to support. You're not going to support someone that doesn't care about you as a fan. As a fan, you come in here and know that these guys are going to talk to you. They're going to be around you. They want to be a friend to you. But it's been special. It's only the beginning. I mean, this is only year 3 for me, only year 4 for Bucky at Samford. So it's just getting started.
Man, it's awesome. Gents, y'all want to jump in?
Yeah, Warren, I'll ask what, you obviously being a student when Bucky got there, now being in the program for the last 3 years, what have you seen from a schematic standpoint? Obviously a culture, I think obviously has driven a lot of the around Samford, but from obviously a schematic, the players have to win and play, and there has to be some sort of schematic thing that changes. What in Bucky and or the program have you all implemented over the last 3 to 4 years that you feel like has translated to wins, and obviously being, number one, the SoCon and on the verge of March Madness here shortly?
I mean, what's John Rothstein's tweet the other day? Bucky ball is not a tagline; it's a way of life. I think Bucky ball's quickly picking up traction across the country. I mean, it's so weird for me because I was talking to some other guys on the staff and about different styles, this and that. I don't know another style. I mean, I was born into this. I've seen full court press and trapping and high speed and high scoring since I started playing basketball. It's all I wanted to do. I never seen it differently. And so to me, it's nothing new, but obviously to college basketball, this is. You can look at Rick Pitino's Louisville teams, Kentucky teams, really. I think that's where a lot of the influence came from. But the idea that we're going to play fast, we're going to play as hard as we can, and we're going to pick you up full court and guard you the entire game. That's exciting. That's fun to watch because when you play full court and you're pressing, you're going to have a lot of high scoring. And then you turn it around analytically. If you were to come into our program and, we talk about how we want to play offensively, well, the analytics show it for yourself. There's a stat called points per possession, right? So how can you optimize your scoring every single possession. And for us, well, the way the numbers show it, it's, we didn't make it up. The numbers say this is getting fouled, free throws, right? That's going to be your most efficient way. It's going to be your free throws and layups, and then it's 3-point shots, and then it's the mid-range shot. And I know we hear that a lot, if you're on basketball social media, but the old heads love to fight it. People love to say, well, the NBA has mid-range shots, and NBA players are the less than 1%. All those guys can't hit the mid-range shot. They're still playing fast and they're shooting threes, but the adjusted, basically the adjusted field goal percentage and why it matters. And so basically you have to, I can't get into all the numbers, but you got to double your percentage on mid-range shots than what you shoot on a 3-point shot to ever catch up, because 3-point shots are so much more worth, and then your free throws and layups are so much more efficient. It just makes no sense to shoot mid-range. And so for us, we're going to get to the rim. We're going to try to get fouled, get layups, and we're going to shoot a lot of threes, open threes. We're not talking contested. We're not talking off the dribble. We're talking, high effective open shots within the offense. And what you get from that pairing of pressing and then playing fast, move the ball up the court. Our goal is to get the ball to half court in less than 3 seconds, move it up the court, get a shot. That's going to be a lot of fun, exciting basketball. I mean, I think right now we're third in the country points per game. That's fun to watch. So I think schematically, like you're asking, Keenan, as a fan, why would you not want to watch that? Would you rather watch that, or would you rather watch someone walk the ball up the court, hold it for 30 seconds, maybe get a shot up, and then the other team's going to walk it down the court, So I think as a fan, you want to watch this. It's fun, it's exciting. You may not know anything about basketball, but it's fun to watch a lot of run up and down the court, dunks, high energy, big threes, a moment changing threes. That's fun to watch. And then recruiting wise, you want to play in that. If you watch our game, it's very free. Bucky and the other assistants have done a great job of just deciding to let the guys be themselves, play within the system, play freely, don't get too much in the weeds of different things, and just have fun out there. And so as a player, with that freedom to play fast, have fun, you want to play in that. You can get more minutes, more scoring, and everyone's going to benefit. And so I think that's really been the foundation of all of it. Schematically is just, Bucky ball itself. Our saying is hardworking, unselfish is fearless. That's, technically it means hardworking plus unselfish equals fearless. We're going to have the hardest working guys on the court, and we're going to have the most unselfish guys on the court. And when that happens, you're going to be fearless. And so that's fun to watch. But yeah.
I love that.
Love it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. No, absolutely. I think it's, again, wish we could have experienced more, even specifically, this year and the dominance that we've had as students. But man, it's a lot of fun to watch, even from home. I know that much. So it's only going to continue to be enjoyable moving forward, as well as just like sustained success. I can see that, because like you said, it's how the programs are run. So no, thanks for that breakdown. I think my question is more pertaining to this season. And I just kind of wanted to hear your thoughts. So obviously we start off 0-2, two solid teams, one being Purdue, who, will be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. We start off 0-2, and I don't think anybody was expecting, any big results from those two necessarily. But after that, if we go on the unbelievable win streak, and now we're sitting at 26-5 for the regular season, with postseason coming up this weekend, which is super exciting. I just wanted to hear, maybe whether it's a stretch of games or a specific one game that you remember, what has been kind of your favorite stretch or like win we've had this season, maybe a come from behind win, whatever that looked like, where obviously you're there, you're in the weeds, whether it's preparation for the week, preparation for a specific game. I maybe wanted to hear insight into that, of like, man, that was great, and like really resilient. The team was resilient in that way.
I think there was, it's been, the whole year has been a lot of fun. There's moments I think back to the first and second year that were great moments. I think this year as a whole, obviously, when you're winning, it's a lot of fun. And I think That's a really rough stretch to start on, those two games at Purdue, their first home game of the year. That I can never imagine an environment different or better than that. That was unreal. I mean, you can't literally hear the person next to you. You're talking, you can't hear it. In the intros, we're trying to be in our huddle. I can't hear a word that's going on. I don't know if they could or not. I mean, we're just trying to lock in and get going, but like, man, it is loud. They're on you the entire time from the second you walk on the court. And it's a fun experience for our guys, first off, by the way. But to win a game there in that moment, and not only that environment, because we can step up to the environment, but I think it's may have been forgotten or overshadowed that this Purdue team returned all 5 starters. Not only they returned all 5 starters, they also went on a foreign tour this summer. So they already played like what 3 games or 4 games in Germany. So these guys are like months ahead of everybody else in college basketball. And no matter who they played that night, they're going to win. They won by 20 or more, and ours was 50 or something like that. But that you can't get too much into that because that is what it was. We weren't going there to have fun. We weren't going there to have a good experience. We were going there to win a game. But at the same time, you can tip your hat and say, man, you guys shot lights out. You stuck to everything you wanted to do and you dominated us. And they were ready. They were hungry. Then you return that straight to VCU, to quote John Rossi, and again, he said something about the Siegel Center more life changing than a 10-day trip to Europe or something like that. That environment's unreal. I mean, that gym was awesome. Insane crowd. We lead the game the whole way to the final, I think, 5 minutes. I think if someone fouls out and they go on a run and we lose the game, and that's a tough, heartbreaking loss right there. But sure, you start 0-2. And I think the difference in this team than maybe I've seen in different teams I've been a part of is there was no finger pointing. There was no unselfishness. It was let's learn from this. Let's learn from these 2 losses. We go watch that Purdue film, and I mean, we looked lost out there, and our guys were just doing things for themselves. They weren't really playing through each other. VCU game, we see how things struggle down the stretch. And from there, I don't think there was much of a change. I think it was just, again, not pointing fingers. Hey, let's not get too low. Let's not get too low on ourselves. We're okay. We shot, I think, 12% at Purdue. We shot not great at VCU, and they shot really well, if I remember correctly. Just stay the course. A big thing Coach Bucky says all the time is stay the course. No matter what, stay the course. A lot of guys get result oriented. They see something happen and they just want to change everything. And his whole mentality is stay the course. We came in here to plan. You might make adjustments to things, but we know what we're about. We know what we're going to do is stay the course. And you saw that with these guys. It's like one moment, I guess I could say that 17-game win streak was a lot of fun. Just every game, someone else stepped up. I can't remember the stat right now. We put it out at some point, but we lead the country in guys with double-digit scoring, or guys who have led a game in scoring. So, for example, Nate had 18, or Garrett may have 15, and Artur may have 23. Each game someone's lead the game, but I think we lead the country in most guys who have led a game in scoring. We've had like 10 players do it. So every that 17-game stretch, someone's stepping up. Someone else is having their moment. When people get injured, that next guy up mentality. Here we go. Let's keep rolling. And then even when we lost that, we lost that stretch, and we in the win streak at 17, we lose a game, and all right, let's not get too high on ourselves. Right, we won a 17-game win streak. We think we're hot stuff. Let's not be too high. We lose. Let's not get too low. That's the mentality of just kind of staying right here the entire way. And it's been a fun thing to be a part of, because every moment doesn't feel, I guess to better answer your question, every moment doesn't feel like super life-changing. It's like, all right, this is what we expect. Let's keep going. And I think what's been so fun about that is that these guys, it's the most unselfish group I've ever been a part of, ever seen. I haven't had a long career, obviously, in basketball, but I've been in a lot of sports. I've played on a lot of teams. I played college sports, and I've seen selfishness on teams I've been a part of and been teammates with. And these guys just aren't about themselves. They're about the team mentality, and you've seen that play out the entire way. And hopefully we get to see it keep going on into this postseason play. But that's been the most fun part, is sure the 17-game win streak, but also just seeing our guys, each person have their part. It's not just 5 guys. It's not one guy. We literally play the most minutes in the country. We lead the country in bench points, I'm pretty sure, maybe 4th in the country in bench points. So it's just been, the group effort's been so fun to just kind of like to watch.
That's awesome. No,
Yeah.
no, absolutely.
I want to piggyback off of that. I think we can let these be a bit more rapid fire for you, Warren, as I think we're
All right.
into maybe the final 10, 11-minute stretch here, I believe. It'll give us a notice. But yeah, I think this is a perfect caveat to, and you can answer it, I guess, more succinctly. Is there any correlation between this year's team success and the lack of a bona fide star, as we say? When I think about previous teams, and I'm saying we do have stars, but what I mean by that is when I think of previous teams, I literally just think of my freshman year. It's probably just going to be Josh Sharkey shooting the shot. Years after that, it's probably going to be Myron Gordon shooting, or Christian Guest shooting, or even in great years like 2 years ago, or even I guess even last year, Quez, right? We kind of know the ball's going to go to him when it comes down to it. He's going to put up shot up. We've got really great guys. Is there a correlation between the success of the team and maybe other teams not really even hardly knowing who to lock in on?
It's definitely a scouting problem for other teams. I think basketball is basketball. End of the shot clock, you got to go to somebody. End of the game, you got to go to somebody. I think the difference is definitely the depth. That's just the reality of it. We have, several guys we can go to. It's not just one guy you're going to rely the whole program, hands on. It's everyone. And so that's been the difference for sure. It's just there's an extreme depth.
Yeah. Anybody else want to jump in? I've got a couple other in the back pocket, but y'all go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, obviously y'all been playing ball since October, November. Fatigue, keeping guys on top of their game has to be probably top priority as you come into March. What does that look like throughout the season of keeping guys motivated? And then as you come into the home stretch here, knowing that y'all are locked in as the number 1 seed of the SoCon, what is rest and kind of preparing guys for this gauntlet of the last quote unquote back half of your season kind of look like from the inside perspective?
Yeah, I think you gotta be strategic about it. I think it's called Connect Sun. We have a tracking system. Cutting out, can you hear me? What's their workload? Even tonight at practice, our strength coach is monitoring that the entire time and just giving keys to Bucky and others, saying, "Hey, here's the workload on this guy. Here's this guy. We need to monitor this." And then also just remind our guys constantly about nutrition and hydration. That's the biggest key outside of practice. Are you eating enough? Are you eating right? Are you drinking enough water? We give our guys, recently started doing this, giving them this tart cherry juice, helps them sleep better, also helps them rehydrate and recover. So we're doing as much as we can, but it's a lot on them outside of practice. Are you actually doing those things that we need you to do?
That's great. Yeah, Warren, obviously I just wanted to hear your perspective, kind of the inside perspective on, from my perspective as a fan, obviously the SoCon tourney and any tournament for some of the mid-major teams, right? Like that's going to determine if they're getting a bid or not to March Madness, whether they deserve it or not. And I think Samford can hold their own against about anybody, but unfortunately, just how things are set up, right? It's pretty much turn or bust, and that's obviously has to be some in some way in back of the coaching staff's mind. And I feel like I know maybe the answer, but is there a different approach, a different mindset? I know again, like you said, you don't want to get too high or too low, but you also have to give it the emphasis it deserves with, hey, this is the season here. We got to go out and run the tourney and punch our ticket.
Yeah, I think again, everything I learned comes from my own boss, which is Bucky. And I think one thing he always talks about, which is so true and so good to hear, is that you can't go in afraid to lose, thinking like, oh, it's our tournament to lose, or oh, we just can't lose this. Like, if you play trying not to lose, you're going to play tight, you're going to play afraid, you won't play your best. And so you have to go in there. One thing I tell our guys all the time is like, we can lose. Hey guys, we can lose. Let's not play thinking like, oh, we can't lose this, because that's possible. We can. Let's go win it. We got to take the game. We've seen in several games this year where we've gotten to the moment where It's just back and forth, what's going to happen. And instead of playing afraid to lose, our guys stepped up and said, no, we're going to take this game. That's what you have to do every game in the SoCon tournament. It's unfair, or not unfair. I won't say unfair. It's unfortunate. It comes down to 3 games after a whole stretch of a season.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You can't just change it right now. So we got to step up and got to play to win. Go win every single game.
Absolutely.
Love the mentality. I got 2 rapid fire ones. Just these are my last 2 that I really wanted to ask, and then anybody else can jump in. No, first question. I already feel like I know your answer to it, but any thoughts on people calling this a down year for the SoCon? That's my first question. I'm going to roll that into my second question. And I think everybody's going to be wanting to know this one. What makes Samford dangerous? And I know we don't want to look ahead, but in theory, what makes Samford dangerous for a 4 to 5 seed in the NCAA tournament, if that's to happen?
Yeah. One, I don't know what people are saying about a down year. I think we're 12th in the country right now in conferences. They rank each conference 1 through 32. So we're 12th right now. That's pretty high up there. Any team can beat anybody. Just look at our conference. Mercer has won 6 last 7 games. They've beaten all the top teams. They beat us, Furman, UNCG. And so anyone can beat anyone. And we know that. No one's undefeated. So it doesn't matter if anyone's a down year or not. The conference is, you know what you're going to get. You got to go in there and win every game. And then at the same time, I saw a stat yesterday, actually. I think we're one of a few schools that have, of the mid-major programs that have 4 mid-major conferences that have 4 20-win teams. We have 4 in our conference right now, 4 21 teams. That's pretty impressive. And then your second question, what makes us, I guess, scary? I think it's the depth and the way we play. Not everyone likes to get picked up full court, and not everyone wants to play fast and throw up a lot of shots. I think us doing that, as well as also playing so many guys, just gives us a different advantage and something people aren't used to.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I think that's one of the areas that y'all have improved the most in during our time at Samford to Bucky is depth. And it's just one of those things that you talk about the way Bucky likes to play, which is pressing, play really fast. Obviously, it's a fun game to watch, but that requires depth, and it requires you having more than 5 athletes to put on the court at any given time. And I think that's one of the areas that y'all have done a really, really great job in. Is one of the strengths of Bucky is recruiting and getting really talented people on campus outside the top 5 guys on the roster. And I think that bodes well for a March Madness run, because you guys are going to be fresh and getting new people on the court quickly.
Yeah, I think it goes forgotten what it takes to have depth. You got to have players that are willing to give up minutes. I think the biggest shout in the world right now is Garrett Hicks. He was, I think, 3rd all-time scorer in Alabama A&M, 1,500-point scorer in college. That's insane in college basketball. And he's not a starter. He gave up a starting role to come play and be a part of this and help get his role. Some games plays a lot of minutes, scores a lot of points. Some games maybe not. That's what everyone's about, and that's why you can have depth, because unselfishness by each player down the bench.
Man, I got to say this. Number one is going to be, I'll put it this way. I'm so excited about Samford basketball this year and this also helps that I live closer. If we're playing on Monday night in Asheville, I'm making the 2-hour drive. I'm just calling my shot. Like, I'll see.
Let's go.
I'm making the drive, and I'm decking it out in the gear. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, I'm not sure I could be much more excited for like to just be a full-on Samford fan. And I'm just thanking Bucky, guys like you, the guys in our program, for the opportunity to like actually be excited about athletics. That's not why I came to Samford. I don't think that's why any of us came to Samford, but like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to really enjoy it. And so that's where it has to stand at this point, is like, we're excited to turn it on and to watch. Like you said, like, I'm probably not going to be watching a lot of mid-major teams because I think the play and the level is going to be garbage. It's not here. You got a really good product, and every single SoCon tournament game will be a battle. It'll be a dogfight. But I'm looking forward.
Well, think about what it does for the university. I mean, sports is the front door to university, and we're all involved in a lot of different areas on campus. But sports, man, it brings in people that never heard of Samford before, never heard of Birmingham, Alabama, honestly, a lot of people. And so having that opportunity to present this university is a blessing, but it does a lot back for the university, gets people engaged and involved, and hopefully just only keeps breaking that attendance record for record enrollment, or not attendance, record enrollment every year.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely.
And I don't know, I don't know Bucky like you do, Warren. You know him. I will say this. The video that got posted on Instagram was like one of the most inspirational videos I've
Yeah.
ever seen. And I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't know, I told these guys I did not know he had it in him to be that eloquent. That was unbelievable. Like anybody that watches this, and if they get to the end, watch the video. It's
Well, that
insane.
was on a podcast. That was just off the dome. That was on my man Coleman Crawley. Great podcast. That was off the dome. So
Well, less than a minute to go. Go Bulldogs. It's going to be really exciting. We can't wait as the SoCon tournament kicks up. Is it Friday night?
yeah, we play Saturday.
So okay, Saturday. We're tuning in. Thanks, Warren.
Appreciate you guys. Hey, make the drive, guys. Don't let him do it by himself. Make the drive.
Come on.
All right. We'll have to. Thanks,
right.
Warren.
Appreciate you guys.
Well
Enjoy
done.
the birthday party, Warren. Peace out.
Hey, see you.
Yeah.